Hello everyone, welcome to Screen Scream. I'm Viola. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Asian cross-country productions. And at Top 007, I'm going to introduce two trending movies recently and hope you like the show today. Without further ado, let's listen to the introduction of the first new movie we're going to talk about today. Barbarian Invasion. Divorced and exhausted, retired actress Moon Lee is offered the chance of a comeback as the lead of a do-your-own stunt martial arts film. The first new movie we're going to talk about today is Barbarian Invasion. It's a Hong Kong movie, but the director and most of the crew are Malaysians. So I think this can be counted as a cross-country production. I saw the special screening on Tuesday, and I can't say I like it very much, but I think it's pretty interesting. First of all, the crew recruited the talented Pete Du, Zhang Zifu. If you're not so familiar with Malaysian pop culture, you may be just like me who doesn't know who Pete Du is. Well, his last name is spelled Teo, but since it's Malaysian, I think it's pronounced as the same as Taiwanese, like my last name, Du. Actually, Pete is one of the most famous indie singers and songwriters in Malaysia, and he's also a movie actor. So he has cooperated with the director of this movie, Dan Cui Mui, and the director who played Shifu Lo in this movie, director Li Tianxin. Moreover, he was invited to play in the Hollywood Ghost in the Shell and had the chance to act with Scarlett Johansson. So if you've seen Ghost in the Shell, you probably would know who Pete Du is. In Barbarian Invasion, he played a very considerate, talented director, and there's a very lonely and thoughtful scene in the end of the movie. Besides the talented Pete Du, the famous director Li Tianxin James Lee also performs his martial arts in this movie. He's very talented. He studied art design originally, and then he changed his career to film industry. Now he's a stage director and actor at the same time. In order to support the director Dan Cui Mui of this movie, he played a martial arts Shifu who's so famous that even people from other countries come to learn from him. He teaches the protagonist how to perform Kung Fu in the movie, and he himself actually knows a lot of different martial arts. So his character is a very important character in Barbarian Invasion. I personally think this is a very interesting movie, and if you are interested in martial arts, this is a movie I recommend you to watch this weekend if you're in Taiwan, because I believe it doesn't have any release schedule or plan in the US. But let's listen to the introduction of the second new movie we're going to talk about today, Decision to Leave. A detective investigating a man's death in the mountains meets the dead man's mysterious wife in the course of his dog sleuthing. The second new movie we're going to talk about today, Decision to Leave, is a Korean movie. It's directed by the famous director Park Chan-wook, and he hasn't released any works for a long time. So it's really something for his fans to look forward to. But since director Park is famous for violent scenes and he's good at presenting sex scenes, these are the ways how he used unique styles to present the emotions of humanity. But this movie is super different. He wants to show his audience something outside sex and violence. And he actually laughed at this. He said if it's other directors who filmed Decision to Leave, nobody would ask them such question. Why don't you have sex and violent scene in the movie. But if it's him, he will be asked why there's no sex scenes. And for him, he just thinks that this movie doesn't need to have that kind of scenes. And as I mentioned, the topic of this week is Asian cross-country production. So even though this movie, Decision to Leave, is a Korean movie, the leading protagonist is Tang Wei. She's also a very talented artist. And I forgot to mention that in the Mandarin version of the show, that Tang Wei's husband is actually Korean. So this is a very interesting combination for director Park to cast Tang Wei as the leading actress. And this is also Tang Wei's first time to cooperate with director Park Chan-wook. She's very happy. She kept saying that she's a big fan of the director. So when she was invited, she was so emotional. And it's also because the director said the protagonist is an unbelievable and charming character. In order to film this movie, although Tang Wei's husband's Korean, she probably knows some Korean, but she still tried hard to learn Korean because she wants to express every vocabulary with deep meanings. She doesn't want to ignore any words. So either you like Korean movie or you like director Park Chan-wook, or you're a big fan of Tang Wei, or you just want to know how good she learned her Korean, you can go watch Decision to Leave. You won't let you down. Before we move on to the amazing Top 007 this week, as far as I'm concerned, let's review what we had from last week first. And we're not going to talk about what we had from top 3 last week, so listen carefully. Top 3, Elvis. Top 2 was Jurassic World Dominion. And top 1, Top Gun Maverick. So we're not going to talk about these 3 movies. Let's check out what we have from top 7 to top 4. Top 5, Lightyear.
Hello, Buzz. I am Socks, your personal companion robot.
The Black Phone.
Daddy, I had a dream about him.
What happened in your dream?
He was taken.
By a man with black balloons.
Top 4, Detective Conan. The Bride of Halloween. Elvis.
Mr. Elvis Presley. Get a haircut, buttercup.
There's no new face on the charts this week. And if you've been following the show, you will know that among the 4 movies, we probably need to talk about Detective Conan, The Bride of Halloween this week. But there's one movie that's so interesting, so I want to talk about it once more. That is The Black Phone. Even though I don't dare to watch it, I still think the production and the story behind it are very charming. So today I want to talk about the adaptation, how the stories got adapted. Actually, it's pretty simple. It's just because the crew of the scariest movie in 21st century, The Omen, wants to cooperate with each other once again. The crew includes the scriptwriter Robert Cargill, the producer of the Blumhouse Productions, Jason Blum, the director Scott Derrickson, and the actor Ethan Hawke. So they want to cooperate and produce another film, maybe scary one, maybe not. And the director walked into a bookstore to read a short novel. He had no idea that the short novel he's reading was written by the son of the horror master Stephen King. Although the short novel's only 20-something pages, he thought that the concept of the story was really great, and he also thought that it's going to be a very great movie topic. And that's how they started the movie. Amazing, right? How could you imagine the concept of a movie started so simple? But this is exactly how they started The Black Phone. So even though I personally don't dare to watch The Black Phone, many friends of mine who have seen it all say it's really good. And if you're a horror movie lover, you will love The Black Phone. So highly recommend it. Now let's listen to top 3 to top 1. Top 3. Minions, The Rise of Gru. Thor, Love and Thunder.
He went from dead bod to god bod.
Top 2. Jurassic World, Dominion.
Genetic power has now been unleashed.
Top 1. Top Gun, Maverick.
Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell. Let me be perfectly blunt.
Well, there are 4 movies from top 3 to top 1 this week, a little bit crowded, and 2 of them are new faces. Minions, The Rise of Gru, and Thor, Love and Thunder. Actually, I also really want to talk about Minions, The Rise of Gru, but since it's going to be released in Taiwan next week, let's talk about it next week. And if you are a follower, you will know that I am a Marvel fan. A big one. So of course, I'm going to talk about Thor, Love and Thunder. But actually, I don't really like it. I mean, I don't hate it. But I think it's only better than the second Thor movie, which means it's really bad. In MCU, I mean. But it's still a pretty good movie in general, so I'm going to talk about it. First of all, if you go watch Thor, Love and Thunder, you will be able to witness the most thrilling villain in MCU. Not that he's the most powerful, but because basically Thor, after director Taika Waititi took over, it's now a comedy series. So the heroes in Thor, Love and Thunder is a very great and funny superhero team. Whenever the actors are on site, they're immersed in funny, impromptu, and funny atmosphere. But whenever the God Butcher, the character played by Christian Bale, showed up on site, the air is frozen right away. So everyone on the crew thinks that the character, the God Butcher, or Christian Bale himself, is really scary. That's one thing. And another thing is that you get to see female powers. Besides focusing on the storyline of Thor seeking for inner peace, there are some plots related to women power. That is his ex-girlfriend Jane Foster and Valkyrie. Even though this is the very first time Natalie Portman to cooperate with director Waititi, she loves the director's style because it's so different from the industry. His directing style is very lively, and he allows the actors to give out impromptu performances. If you've seen The Black Swan, you will know that Natalie Portman has dancing background. She knows how to dance, and that helps her when she performs the fighting scene as the mighty Thor in Thor, Love and Thunder. All the action stunts are very accurate and smooth, as if she's dancing. So even though I personally am not very satisfied with Thor, Love and Thunder, I think the villain and the women power are the most charming parts in this movie. And if we have more chances in the future, if it's still on the chart, maybe we can discuss it in the future weeks. But for now, that's all the time we have for today. Hope you like the movies I talk about and enjoy your summer movie time. I'm Viola. See you next week.